Welcome to Inside Netflix, the future of culture and control. Today's episode is a little different. It's exclusive for the Netflix leadership team. We're peeling back the layers of Netflix's magic, beyond the content and subscriber stats, and getting into what really fuels the engine, a unique management and control system that helped Netflix dominate the industry. Now picture this. Netflix isn't just a company. It's more like a championship sports team where every player is exceptional, where freedom and responsibility power every move, and where only the best stay on the field. This is no ordinary workplace culture. This is a secret sauce, the blueprint for success. We're going to dive into the three pillars that define Netflix: radical freedom and responsibility, high performance dream team culture, and bold approach to talent, keeping only those who raise the bar. So, sit back and let's start by taking an inside look at where everything started. Reed Hastings' entry into the entertainment world was more of a fortuitous twist of fate than a planned venture. Back in 1997, Hastings found himself co-founding Netflix with Mark Randolph, and the seed of this revolutionary idea was as mundane as it was unique: a late fee on a rented videocassette. Like all of us, Hastings was irked by the prospect of shelling out a fine for returning a DVD past its due date. But rather than simply paying the penalty and moving on, his mind began to churn. He saw not just a problem, but a solution that took years to perfect, years of tenacity, vision, and unyielding determination to transform the idea of Netflix from a sketch on a drawing board to the household name it is today. Now we're going to take a deep dive into some MCS practices at Netflix. First one is the keeper test. The key question at hand here is, if the employee were to resign tomorrow, would you fight to keep them? If the decision is yes, then the employee gets to stay, potentially developing opportunities to work on and attempt to maintain team strength. Whereas if the answer is no, are there any potential improvements? If yes, then set an improvement plan and review period. If not, then the employee is out. Now let's hear this from Reed Hastings himself.
We had expected to basically grind to a halt and really not be able to make any improvements because it would take 80 people just to keep the lights on. But in fact, we got more done with only 80 people. And we tried to figure out why, and we realized now there was no dummy proofing necessary. And so it was just everybody was going fast and everything was right. And so we realized with the right density of talent, there's very little process needed. And that was the joyful thing. But talent density matters so much. So then we figured, no, let's not do a layoff every year like that. Let's just do continued focus. And the big evolution we came to is for managers, they have to each year testify for each of their people that if that person were trying to quit, they would try to change their mind. And so it's up to the manager to decide, yes, I would want to change their mind, but sometimes you find that you have people working for you, and if they quit, you'd be like, oh, that's pretty good. And that's the case we wanted to proactively, not wait for them to quit, but proactively give them a generous severance package.
Moving on to Netflix's dream team culture. All right, let me ask you something. When you think of a workplace, do you imagine a family, a place of comfort and unconditional support? Well, at Netflix, they don't buy into that. They don't want family dinners, they want championship rings. Reed Hastings once said, "We're not a family, we're a professional sports team." Think about it. On a sports team, every player has a purpose. Every player fights for their spot, not because they're scared of losing it, but because they want to be the best, contributing at their highest level to the team's success. That's what Netflix does. Every hire is a star player, and every role is a critical position. So you have to earn your place, and there's talent at every level.
Companies with
Once
the
again,
family, and you'd hire
let's hear
them
it
and you'd
from
be
Reed
like,
Hastings
we're a family,
himself.
we look after each other. And it's kind of baloney because, you'll lay someone off in a way that you wouldn't, your sister. And so, it's like you want them to work for you like they were a family member for free and cheap. But you're not really prepared to treat them like a family member, if you're honest. And so, really, the professional relationship is like a sports team. And if you want to win a championship, you got to have incredible talent at every position. And so we say, look, we're like a professional sport, not like your kid's soccer team, but no, like a professional sports team where we pay people well, we want them to win. And if you have one good game, bad game, you don't like lose your position. But ultimately, you're fighting for your position every year.
Now, let's imagine you're an employee at Netflix. How would a day in your life look like? Morning hits, and you've got an urgent client meeting. You book a business class flight, no approval forms, no tedious back and forth, just efficiency. Boom, done. Fast forward to midday, you potentially are reviewing an ad campaign. It looks promising, and you are ready to move forward with the budget and approve it. Guess what? You do not need a manager's signature. You greenlight it on the spot. Now, maybe it's afternoon and you're feeling like a recharge since you took that flight. You decide to take the rest of the day off. There's no need to justify it. No awkward, I'll cover for you negotiations, just a simple decision yours. And finally, maybe evening sets and you're taking a moment to review your campaign's performance. You own the results, the wins, the losses, and lessons are learned. Total accountability. So imagine this was your lifestyle. Do you think you would thrive with this level of trust? Believe it or not, at Netflix, you're given wings to fly as high as your ambitions will take you. But here's the twist, you're also the pilot. You're responsible for a smooth landing. So, yes, at Netflix, there's no set policies, no rigid rules dictating your every move. Need to make a decision? You can go for it. Need to adapt on the fly? It's your call. Moreover, there's work flexibility. You're free to choose when and where you work, whether it's from your couch, a coffee shop, or halfway across the globe. Your office is where you need it to be. And finally, with great freedom comes great responsibility. At Netflix, accountability is the backbone. It's a big thing. Every choice you make, every risk you take, it's yours to own. Freedom isn't about doing less, it's about doing more with purpose and direction. Now, let's take a moment to connect the dots. These three MCS practices are not just standalone ideas, they're an interconnected system that fuels success. The Keeper test ensures only top performers remain, raising the bar for everyone. This feeds directly into the dream team culture, where every role is filled with an A player, driving a culture of excellence. Now, combine that with freedom and responsibility, employees have the autonomy to make bold decisions, but are fully accountable for their outcomes. Together, these practices form a reinforcing cycle. High talent density means fewer rules are needed, autonomy empowers creativity, and accountability ensures results. The result? A dynamic, innovative workforce that keeps Netflix ahead in the highly competitive streaming world. Let's look at one potential improvement the leadership team at Netflix can do. Take freedom and responsibility global, but with a twist. Cultural adaptation workshops. These aren't about imposing rules or controls, but about enabling teams to interpret freedom through a local lens. Imagine Netflix leaders in Tokyo or Sao Paulo holding collaborative sessions where they explore how to apply this principle in ways that respect both company values and regional nuances. It's not about control, it's about empowerment. Who knew success could be built like a soccer team? Driven by accountability, powered by responsibility, and led with absolute freedom.